It's your girl Courtney Lauren. For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you can see what I post. Today I'm going to be making for you guys my broccoli cheddar soup recipe. So if you want to learn how to make that, go ahead and continue watching and let's get started. So here I have about 4 tablespoons of butter, 3 large garlic cloves crushed, about a half a medium onion diced. We have about a half a cup of shredded carrots. I also have 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. In my bowl, I have about 3 broccoli crowns that have been washed and cut up. And then also in my green bowl, I have an 8-ounce block of sharp cheddar cheese. I also did shred in just a tiny bit of Velveeta to keep it creamy. We also have salt, pepper, and paprika, half and half, and chicken broth. So these are the ingredients we're going to be using. We're going to go ahead and turn our pot onto about a 6 or 5.5. Toss in our butter and let that get all melted. After we melt our butter, we're going to toss in our onions and we're also going to toss in the garlic. And then after that, after we toss the garlic in, we're going to go ahead and give this a stir. We want to make sure that the onions get nice and brown and the garlic is nice and sauteed in with the onions as well and the butter. And we're going to saute this about 5 minutes until the onions become a little translucent and the butter becomes bubbly. So once that happens, we're going to go ahead and toss in 4 tablespoons of flour. Like I said, I'm using all-purpose flour. This makes for a really good roux, so this is what I'm going to be using today. Go ahead and toss that in, and then you're going to want to get a wire whisk. We're going to go ahead and whisk this around. I would say maybe 4 to 5 minutes or so. You're just going to wait until the flour itself turns like a nice golden brown color. So once this gets nice and golden brown, we're gonna go ahead and add in about 3 1/4, I would say. I don't really use measurements, so I'm trying my best here. About 3 1/4 cup of chicken broth. After we pour in all of our chicken broth, go ahead and grab that whisk again, get that whisk all up. You want to go ahead and get all of the flour clumps out. So you want to make sure this is nice and silky and smooth. You don't want to have any clumps of flour or anything sticking to the bottom of your pot. So once we go ahead and get this nice and incorporated and stirred up, we're going to go ahead and add in our broccoli. Like I said, I'm using 3 crowns of broccoli, and then after that, we're going to add in our shredded carrots. Once we pour in our vegetables, we're going to go ahead and turn this all around, give it a good stir. Make sure that the broccoli is nice and sopped up with the roux that we made. And then we're going to want to season this very generously with pepper. I would say about a tablespoon of pepper or so. I am also using paprika. It gives it a really good color. You know, paprika don't really taste like nothing, but it gives whatever you're cooking a really cute and colorful look. So I would say maybe a tablespoon or so of paprika, and then also you're going to want to season this very generously with salt as well. So let's go ahead and turn this around, give this a good stir. And once we get this all mixed up and nice and incorporated into our broth, we are going to go ahead and cover this, and we're going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes or so. You just want to make sure that the broccoli and the carrots become nice and tender before we go on to the next part. So it's been about 20 minutes. We're going to go ahead and add in 2 cups of half and half. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and mix that around. Make sure it's nice and evenly incorporated into the rest of our broth. And then this is the part where we also add in our shredded cheese. I like to do this in batches, so I don't like to go ahead and dump all the cheese in at one time. I like to do about 2 handfuls at a time, mix that around, get that nice and melted, and once that's melted up, then I go ahead and add in my next 2 handfuls up until all of the cheese is gone. And then you're going to want to make sure you're stirring this very, very frequently. You don't want any of the cheese to clump up on the bottom of your pan, and it just also helps to mix it a lot. That way the cheese melts very evenly. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in my second 2 handfuls of cheese. Like I said, just go through these steps up until all your cheese is completely gone, mixing very frequently as you're putting the cheese in. And as you can see, I let that boil out for about 5 more minutes just to make sure all the cheese was nice and melted. And our soup is done now. So just make sure you're tasting it for salt and pepper. If you need a little bit more, go ahead and add that. But I promise you guys, you will never go back to Panera again once you make this for the first time. I hope you guys like this video and give it a thumbs up. Bye!